What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be talking about the Winnipeg Jets and how they are the first place underdogs this season. They've been first place in the league for pretty much the entire year, 87 points in the West. The next is the Dallas Stars with 76. That's 11-point difference, 60 games played throughout the year. You've got only 22 more games to go. It seems like the West is the Jets to lose at this point. If we look at the league, they're just 3 points above Washington, fighting for that President's Trophy. 87 points for the Jets, 84 for Washington. This has been such a bizarre year in the fact that, nobody really took the Jets seriously coming into this year. Nobody really thought the Jets were going to, be a very good team, never mind, first place in the league. A lot of people thought that they were going to be squeaking into the wild card, myself included, or not making the playoffs at all. And that just, couldn't have been farther from the truth this year. So many guys looked back at last season and the years prior to that and said, you know what, we have to be better, and they're having career years. So many players on this team are killing it this year, and we're going to be talking about them in a minute. But I want to talk about the philosophy and why I think the Jets are having such a good year and why people aren't taking them seriously right now. It's incredibly hard to get the bad taste out of your mouth when you have a really bad playoff performance, and the Jets had one of the worst, in franchise history just a year ago, where, they came in, looked like a really good team to end the year, had really big additions such as Monahan and Toffoli. Then they got into the playoffs against the Colorado Avalanche, and they got absolutely buzzed down by Nathan MacKinnon and Cale Makar. Connor Hellebuyck had a really poor series, and that was it. Hellebuyck played really good all season long, got to the playoffs, was burnt out, and the Jets lost. And, top to bottom, that team played like garbage. They got completely outclassed in 5 games by the Avs. Impressive, they even won 1 game in that series, and that was it. It was really disappointing. And from there, you could have said, all right, we're going to see a lot of movement here on the Jets. Maybe this core can't do it. Maybe this will make the front office think, okay, this is the end. But they didn't. They stuck with the group, and they even, added to it. This team is largely the same from just a season ago, and it's been really impressive what they've been able to do and how guys have been able to, use last year as motivation, as I said before. I was talking about guys with career years. Look at Mark Scheifele. He looks like a legit #1 center this year. That's something maybe you couldn't really say, in the past couple of years. Maybe a low-end 1C, but he's acting like a legit superstar this season. You look at Nikolai Ehlers, finally getting power play time, finally getting more minutes. Look what he's done with them, right? Cole Perfetti maturing, turning into a legit top 6 player in the NHL. He looks great this year. Kyle Connor deciding to forecheck this year. Been really impressive. Gabe Vilardi staying healthy and being an absolute beast, scoring goals. Looks like he could be a 30-30 guy, 30 goals, 30 assists. I mean, that's just the forward group. On defense, it's Josh Morrissey, Dylan DeMello doing what they do best. Josh Morrissey, top 5 defenseman once again. We know him. Josh Morrissey over here, no surprise whatsoever. Top pairing's been great. Look at the second pairing. Dylan Samberg has ascended, and he has arguably been the story of the Winnipeg Jets this season that no one is talking about. He is, I'm going to say, the second best defenseman on the team for sure. I don't think that's a surprise to anybody that's watched this team night in, night out. The Jets really struggled when Samberg went down with that broken foot. He missed, I believe it was 21 games, maybe it was 22, something like that. Blocked a shot, broke his foot, and that was the worst part of the season for the Jets. They really did struggle. They were having trouble defending in their own end, and it looked like a team that we've seen in the past that can't clear the puck, can't get out of their own end. But when Neil Pionk is paired with Dylan Samberg, that pairing is very good, and there's more stability in that top 4. And Neil Pionk's had a really good year this year in terms of offense. The defense sometimes, not as great. Sometimes the decision making isn't amazing. Sometimes there's some bonehead plays, but he's made up for it with the offense. In a perfect world, you'd have Neil Pionk on your third pairing, but with Samberg, it is a viable second, defense option. And now if we look at the goaltending situation, you know him, you love him. It's Connor Hellebuyck. 45 games played this year. He's got 36 wins, 6 shutouts, 2.02 goals against average with a .926 save percentage. Disgusting numbers. He's got the Vezina locked up. That was pretty much locked up in December. Is he going to win the Hart? He might just be a candidate for sure. He's got more wins than most of the teams in the NHL right now. It's going to be interesting to see how the Hart Trophy race shakes out, but I think Helly's definitely got a shot, and, obviously, huge reason why this Jets team is so good. But despite all of the career years, despite all of these guys playing at a high level, Connor Hellebuyck legitimately playing at a Hart Trophy level, you're not hearing anything about this Jets team. This Jets team has holes, yes, we'll talk about that in a little bit, but this is a very, very, very good team, a very underrated team, and in most betting odds, they're not even top 10 to win the Stanley Cup. People are sleeping on this Jets team just because of the past, just because of what's happened in the past few years in the playoffs. This team has a chance to rewrite the way that people look at them, change the way that people look at them, and really change the perception of this franchise as a whole. Because right now, people still think this team's frauds. Remember the fraud squad thing last season? People still think this Jets team's a fraud. And, that's really not going to change until we get to the playoffs, because you could win all 82 games and people will still say, well, I'll believe it when they have success in the playoffs. And that's totally fair. But this year, I really do believe something is going to change. I think the Jets are going to win at least one round. I'd really hope so anyway, especially if they're playing Calgary or Vancouver or Utah in the first round. But we'll have to see who they play in the playoffs. That's still 20-something games away. Jets have some work to do before that. But what I will say here with this Jets team, everybody having a career year, I see people saying the Jets don't need to add because they don't want to mess up the chemistry. And Craig Button said it best, the people that are saying, oh, the Jets don't want to mess up the chemistry need to stop, because why would the Jets even think about bringing somebody in that would mess up the chemistry? They're not going to bring someone in that's not going to be a fit, that's not going to work with the team. They're going to do their research. That's why you have pro scouts. He made such an incredible point on this, and it's been really bothering me seeing people say, oh, the Jets don't need to add, when they have obvious holes. They need something on that bottom pair for defense, right? They need to push Logan Stanley out the lineup. Ideally, you'd like to add a player into your top six that can bring some impact and, create more depth throughout your lineup. And there's nothing wrong with that. You have to do that as a team that's in a position right now to legitimately contend for a Stanley Cup. You're number one in the league. Let's get a piece here to push you over the edge. This could be your year. You could be raising Lord Stanley. And for the rest of time, it would be awful if, the Jets stood pat or just added, maybe one or two, lower end pieces. And then, we're out in maybe the second or third round. For the rest of time, you sit there thinking, what if the Jets went bigger? What if, they decided to make a bigger splash at the trade deadline? But they didn't because they were worried about the chemistry, right? You can be a good team for as long as you want. You're not making moves and, just staying consistently a playoff team. But there comes a time when you have to push the chips forward and really go for it and win a Stanley Cup. You're not playing in this league just to win games, just to be in the playoffs. You're playing for the Stanley Cup at the end of the year. And the Jets have a real chance to be lifting it if they make the according moves. Doesn't even have to be, a massive splash. Just fill your holes. You have holes on this team. You're not a perfect team despite how well you've been playing in the regular season. Most teams are going to upgrade. Now's the time to compete and go for it. And I would really like to see the Winnipeg Jets do that this season, and I really do believe they will. But that is all I've got today, guys. Thank you so much for watching as always. Let me know down below, do you believe in this Jets team this year? Let me know. Want to hear from you guys. Leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Trade deadline in 1 week. Lots of content here on the channel in the time being, so, be sure to keep up to date with everything here. Thank you guys so much again. See you guys in the next one. Go Jets, go. Bye-bye.